Okay, well, we appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know, I like interacting in dialogue a lot better than just talking points. I made a few notes here so I can kind of stay on track, but I kind of look forward to the time when we all have had a little introduction and we can do a question and answer time, because that's when people really get to know one another and really get to understand some of our goals and what we're trying to do and where we're headed and how we're going to get there. But as Joe said, I'd like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about myself, because of all the things you get in the newspaper and all the media that's out, you don't get to know the people. And so I'd just like to take a minute to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised right here in Chatham County. In fact, I live on the farm that I was raised on. As a child, I grew up, we raised poultry and cattle, swine, row crops. In fact, in the western part of the county, most of the people that lived there farmed and worked a public job as well in town somewhere. At the time, it was textiles or furniture, furniture business, furniture industry. And as you well know, a lot of that has dried up and gone away. So, but I was born and raised right there, and moved away for school, moved away for a couple of job opportunities, but then came back and ended up in the home place where I was actually raised. So we're back home, and got 3 boys. And my wife and I have been married 35, I gotta get this right, 36 years. And so we're part of Chatham County. We've been here a long time, and I love Chatham County. It's my family's been here a long time. Our roots run pretty deep. I have a business, Atlantic Power Solutions. We do generator sales and service. On the commercial side of the industry, we do about a 3-hour service area of Siler City. On the agricultural side, there's an opportunity for us to build or have packaged some generators, and we have a pretty big footprint. We serve from the eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland all the way down to East Texas. And so I've had an opportunity to travel and work with a lot of businesses across the country and see areas and how they operate, see growth, learn a little bit about what's going on across the country, and I can see sometimes in doing that what we're missing in Chatham County. I serve on the Electrical Generating Systems Association. Has a board. It's a national board. I serve on that. I serve on the hospital board. So I've got a lot of time to run as county commissioner. Why did I run? Well, I never had political ambition. But having grown up in Chatham County and seeing that it was changing, and we were losing what I knew as home, some of the things were totally out of our control, some were not. The economy, textile industry, furniture industry, a lot of that, businesses closed, downtown's dried up. Some of that we couldn't help, it's just world economics. But also saw in the last few years how we got so unfriendly to businesses. So businesses that might have an opportunity were no longer interested in Chatham County. I never thought about running, but I had people come to me and ask me, said, Walter, would you consider running as county commissioner? I said, I absolutely knew nothing about politics. They said, that's good. That's what we want. They wanted a business mind, someone that thinks, like business people, and wanted some of those principles applied to, to our government. And so I thought, well, maybe I can do this. And but I knew that if it was going to make a difference, the 3 of us had to run together. It had to be an all or none, because we needed the majority. The majority had changed the direction the county was going in, and in order for that to be reversed, it took a majority again. So the 3 of us decided to run as a slate and put our heads together and put together a plan, and next thing you know, we're in office. 4 years ago in 2010, when we ran, we recognized that the changes were taking place and that we needed to make some necessary changes. We began to lay a foundation to better serve the citizens of Chatham County. And I'm going to touch on a couple of points real quick, and then let these guys speak, and then we'll get in that question and answer, because like I said, I like that better. But we made a few points that we really wanted to focus on, and I wrote them down because I didn't want to miss any of them. Number one, we wanted to focus on the core functions of government, which would be public safety, education, environment. And you can see as some of these elaborators, we look at some brochures and handouts we've done exactly that. You can see what we've done. We wanted to set up programs where we were transparent, where we were accountable, where you knew what was going on. We found ways of putting our check register and our bookkeeping online so you could see how the money's being spent in the county. We videotaped all of our meetings so that if you're not able to attend, you could watch them online. We decided to grow our tax base. Joe mentioned that a little bit. 91% of our revenue that we get comes from revenue comes from property taxes. It's an imbalance. We need to change that. So we set a goal. We didn't know what the goal was early on, but we knew we needed to change that. So we set a goal last year, I guess it was, that we would grow our commercial tax base by 5 to 6%. We knew that would have a drastic impact. I was a little bit more optimistic when we first started talking. I thought, if 5's good, 10's better. And I was quickly told that, and they're right. You know, that was pretty optimistic. But you know what? We made some great inroads, and Joe's touched on most of it already. We decided that the best way to help economic development in Chatham County is to get out of the way. We decided the best way to help Chatham County grow with economics is get out of the way of the EDC, let them do their job. Not say go after business, but go after it this way, this way, this way. You know, take both gloves off and let them get in the ring. You know, let them do what they do best. So we got out of the way of EDC, we got out of the way of businesses. We established, or EDC, I think established it, or between them and staff, pre-application meetings to make it easier for businesses to find out exactly what was necessary to open a business, so that going in on the front end, they knew that they had to do A, B, C, D, and if they meet those qualifications and they can do that, then they can move forward. If not, they need to go back to the drawing board. And it saved a lot of time and energy and unproductive meetings that later you would get into it and you find out, well, we didn't do this, or we didn't do that, or we need to do something different. So the pre-app meetings helped with that. We find that we're getting pretty good reviews because people know now what they need to do to open a business. Another item we decided we wanted to focus on was to identify inefficiencies. So we eliminated unnecessary positions. We eliminated any duplications in our organization. And we tried to eliminate any red tape that would drag out timelines that businesses, time is money. So we wanted to eliminate any problems that cause businesses to have to wait. We set things up so that whenever you got through the process, by the time you came to the Board of Commissioners for final approval, there's no reason to deny you, because something had been followed all the way through the system. By that time, it was a given. It should be there. If there were problems with it, it should have been discovered before it comes to the board. We decided we'd hold town meetings and hear from the citizens in a more informal setting like this. A lot of people don't want to come to Board of Commissioners meetings. They don't want to stand up and speak during public input. And so we've made an effort to hold some town hall meetings around the county, get to know the citizens more personally. And finally, one of the most important things that we wanted to focus on was being a good steward of the tax dollars that you've entrusted to us to deal with. And we feel like we've done that. We've been able to maintain our tax base at its current rate for the last 4 years in some very tough times. We were able to do it through some of the inefficiencies and the unnecessary positions and all those other things we talked about, while at the same time funding the things that were necessary that were core functions of government we talked about: education, environment, and public safety. Joe already touched on the conceptual land use plan. We felt like it's necessary to spend some time trying to figure out where businesses will go so that we can put the infrastructure there. And if we work from the standpoint of employment, targeted employment areas, then that lets us know where we need to focus infrastructure, and they're not randomly scattered all about the county. Now, there are some businesses that don't demand a lot of infrastructure, may not want to locate in those areas. They don't need a storefront. They may be a service business. and they may be quite fine out in a rural area somewhere, and that works great if that's what they want to do. But businesses and industry that need infrastructure need to be in an area where we can consolidate all those efforts and be efficient providing those services as well. So, I'm not going to take all the time. I'll let these guys speak a little bit, but basically the point I want to make is that we need your support. We need to continue what we've been doing. We've got 4 years under our belt. I still think we might be rookies sometime, Joe. But we've learned a lot along the way. And I think we've got a lot accomplished. I think we've got more we want to do. I think we want to see some of these things through. And I think we need 4 more years to get that done, rather than see someone come in and undo what we've done. And in order to do that, we need to maintain our majority. 3 of us need to be elected again in November. And so I ask for your support, I ask for your vote, and I'll be available for the question and answer time, but thank you for coming out tonight. I know the weather's not the greatest for trying to get out, but I appreciate you making efforts to be here, and thank you for all your encouragement and support you've given us already.